Hi everyone, it's Alice. So today I'm back for my August wrap-up. So I've got a few books to tell you about. So the first one I wanted to talk about was Fishes by V.E Schwab. So I told you a little bit about this one in my previous video, I believe. So that's one of the only books I haven't read by V.E Schwab. I really enjoyed what she's doing and I really wanted to read that one. So now that's done. And I must say I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, so, or I didn't enjoy it as much as I did with the trilogy Darker Shade of Magic, so, but that being said, this was just unbelievable, this trilogy, so that's alright, and I still enjoy it. I just, I just thought I was going to enjoy it a little bit more. It's just, I think, probably because of the characters. I thought it was a bit short. I didn't really have the time to care as much about them, or I think that's what happened. So yeah, well, I still enjoyed it. So it talks about enemies, it talks about best friends who will become enemies, about superpowers, about heroes, villains, and near-death experiences. So I don't want to say too much about it, but yeah, it was still very much enjoyable. So, but if it's your first book by V.E Schwab, I maybe wouldn't recommend that one, and maybe just start with A Darker Shade of Magic. But that's my opinion. So that's it for that one. The second book I wanted to tell you about is by Jesmyn Ward. So Where the Line Bleeds. I bought that one, I think, a month ago or something. And same, it's one of the only books I haven't read from Jesmyn Ward. Or maybe there is another one. I'm not sure. Anyway, I really wanted to read that one, and I was not disappointed. It was absolutely fabulous. I really like Jesmyn Ward's writing. I think it's just great. It is beautiful. She has such a talent. She is so gifted at writing. If you just read the first 2 pages of this book, it's just unbelievable. The way she just narrates the story and create the ties within the family and explain the relationships between everybody. I think it's just, I do believe it's just great. So if you haven't read anything, maybe just try and pick one up. This one's quite short, so it's not, packed with action. It's more about, as I said, what's happening within the family, so the relationships and how decisions can affect everybody's lives in a family. So this one talks about twins. So they've been raised by their grandmother because their mother was not really present in their life, and their father is a drug addict, so same, not very present. And basically they're very, well, obviously being twins, they're very close, and doing everything pretty much the same until they finish high school and looking for a job, and only one of them gets a job, and that's when it's going to affect their lives. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I would definitely recommend it. Then another book I was really happy about, because it's really not, I've said this year I really want to try and read more thrillers, more crime stories, so that's it. I Let You Go by Clare Mckintosh, and this one was unbelievable because the first half of the story was a bit boring in a way, because I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is happening, okay, yeah, the characters, they're good, but not amazing, nothing too surprising there, like I was pretty much expecting everything that was happening. But I kept reading it, and I'm so glad I did, because then the second half of the book is just truly unbelievable. So even though I knew there was going to be a twist at some point, I was ready for it. I was like, yeah, it's probably this. Yeah, it was not that at all, and I was still very surprised. So yeah, me saying there is a twist is not, spoiler at all. And yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was great. All the pieces of the puzzle just worked very well in the second part, and you understood why things were the way they were in the first part. And there was also a very intense look at a subject that I think we should look a little bit more about in books, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to say too much again. I don't want to spoil it, but great. Then we've got Record of a Spaceborne Feud by Becky. So this one is the last one of the trilogy I have been reading. So that's the Wayfarers. And as you may know, I've really enjoyed the first 2 books. And so I couldn't wait to get my hands on this 3rd one. And now it's done. So I really enjoy that one as well. It's probably my least favourite of the trilogy. It's not that I didn't like it, I really enjoyed it, but it's just maybe because we were looking more towards the human colonies and that sort of stuff, and not so much as at other species in the galaxy anymore. It was just set on the Exodin fleet. I felt like I just wanted a little bit more out of it, but I thought it was still very good. So the good thing with the trilogy is that you can read whichever book you want in the order you want. So this one being the 3rd one doesn't mean you have to read the first 2 before. You can just pick that one up and you will understand the story very well. You don't have to read the first 2 books. That being said, I wouldn't recommend reading this one first because, as I said, well, I enjoy that one, but yeah, it's not my favourite one. So the first one was very funny as well. So the first one is a good place to start, or the second one too. And yeah, as I said, this one is looking a little bit more at the human colonies and what happened after they left Earth and they were supposed to go and find another planet, and in the end the human colonies, most of them remained on their spaceship, and how it affects their life now. So it was very interesting, but I felt maybe I couldn't really I didn't connect with the characters as well as I did in the first 2 novels. So maybe have a look. If you like me and you've read the first 2 novels, you're probably very excited to have a look at that one as well. And the covers, they're just absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, very good. And then the last one I wanted to tell you about that I'm actually reading at the moment is A Skinful of Shadows by Frances Hardinge. So I had read The Light Tree that I really enjoyed, probably a month ago, something like that. And I said, yeah, I really want to read something else by this author, so now that's what I'm doing. I've only read 60 pages so far, but I'm really enjoying it. And also, this is very scary. This is really scary. Like, I'm a bit scared. I was reading it last night and I was like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't read that just before bedtime. So, so she's good. So this story is about Makepeace, I think that's her name, and it's a young girl, and it talks about ghosts and spirits, and I don't want to say too much, but basically Makepeace has the ability to see ghosts and spirits, and she's still very young and learning how to deal with that, and that's it. That's all I know so far. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to read a little bit more about that one, but yeah, as I said, very scary. So that is it for me today. That's all the books I wanted to tell you about. And yeah, so as usual, just let me know what you've read this month, and also what you think about these books if you have read them, and I will see you very soon.